can we stop assuming the Niners are just going to beat the Rams because they want to?
The Rams look real.
The Rams not only look real, they are very likely to desperately need that football game the last week of the year. So in order to just they lost to the Ravens, that was fun. For that, no, the Niners need this game on Monday for two reasons. One, I don't want to assume that they're going to beat the Rams. And two, I'd like them to be able to rest some guys in that game too.
Well, first of all, if the Niners win this weekend against Baltimore on Monday and they get some help, the rest of the season is done. I know people think, well, they got to win too. They actually can clinch the number 1 seed. If the Niners win this weekend and Dallas, Detroit, and Philly all lose, the Niners are the number 1 seed.
Right. Seems unlikely.
But it could happen.
Cowboys have a hard game. Philly's got the Giants. I know.
DeVito and his agent.
I know. Well, look.
There's a lot of smooching going on there.
The Eagles aren't going to blow anybody out. I think they've already proven that.
Right.
So there's that. And Detroit is what? At Minnesota, I think?
I'm not sure.
I think Detroit's at Minnesota.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah. So.
Detroit at Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Niners have a shot. And then the Ravens, they can take home the AFC North if they win and Cleveland loses. And if they also win this game, they got a great shot at the number 1 seed in the AFC. So both teams have something to play for. And to me, this game's going to be really, really interesting just to see who's up, who's active, who's inactive. If you're Kyle Shanahan, I mean, you got to have a healthy Eric Armstead, a healthy Dre Greenlaw, and a healthy Javon Hargrave if you're going to go to the Super Bowl. And Greenlaw's not even on the injury report, which is amazing because the guy's got 7 different injuries.
Seriously.
And Armstead's got plantar fasciitis. He's got a sore knee. Hargrave's got a hammy. Have you seen his legs? When you have a hammy,
it's a big hamstring.
That's a big hamstring. I'm not even joking. Ricky, and if you and I pull a hamstring, it's no big deal.
It's a tiny little hamstring.
When Ricky Henderson pulled a hamstring in the 80s, he was out for 3.5 months.
Well, all those guys, you see how slowly Trent Williams now recovers. I just, if I were that size and you've got a lower body injury, I mean, my God, those legs have a lot to carry around. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, you don't want to mess with any of this.
If you're Shanahan, how do you play your hand of cards? I mean, and then the other one that's really weird, no CMC on the injury report. Did you see on the Arizona sideline where he looked like he was actually trying to put his knee back in place?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he was trying to put the brace back in place. He put a wrap on it.
I don't know. He was weird the way he was grabbing his knee.
You think his knee was dislocated or something?
I mean,
the guy is superhuman. But look, I think you play this the same way you would play all the others, which is this way. No, I'm not pushing guys who aren't ready. I'm not trying to win it at that level. But I'm also not holding guys out who are pretty much ready because I think next week's more important or something like that. And I don't think Kyle ever does that. In the NFL, you can't assume things like that. You can't just be like, oh, we don't need this week. Let's get next week. Who knows who the hell's going to be healthy next week? You got another game to play on Monday night. Who knows who they could lose? So you got to.
But I mean, okay, so do you sit Armstead knowing that if you can get a win this week and maybe one more win that he's going to have? You'd have 2 weeks. You'd have week 18 and then the bye week to rest him up. I mean, these are tough decisions because there's certain guys you gotta have.
I agree with you. That's how I would do it. I would simplify it though. I wouldn't really make it about the surroundings. I wouldn't make it about, hey, we could win next week. I would just ask, are they ready? Don't push them. Don't push them to be ready.
Fasciitis.
Oh,
it's what's the solution? Rest.
Yeah. But, I mean, if that's the solution, then you got to sit them out the rest of the year. It's not like it's going to be – I mean, they play again 6 days after they play this one. It's not going to be all healed.
I'd lean on my depth, man.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I'd lean on my depth. If McCaffrey's not 100%, as soon as you get this game in hand, it's J.P. Mason time. I don't want to see him late.
I don't know if you're going to get this game in hand. This one might be different.
I know.
This one might be different.
Though I actually feel good about this game because I don't think the Ravens play with light boxes. And on paper, they look great against the run. But when you look deeper into the numbers, Warren Sharp had a great article this week. The Ravens struggle against 21 and 22 personnel. They struggle against teams that put two backs on the field at the same time. The Niners do that more than almost any other team in football.
Oh, the Niners are better than the Ravens.
Niners, I think the Niners are going to win this game because they can run it on the Ravens, and I think without Keaton Mitchell, the Ravens can't run it on the Niners.
The Niners are better than the Ravens. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win this game, but I've gotten to the point where I feel good about the Niners' chances when they take the field. That's when I feel good about the Niners' chances.
The Niners have blown people out. That's a big part of it. I mean, the Niners have won 6 straight games by double digits. I think that's probably where that confidence is coming from.
Their only win not by double digits is when Sean McVay put up that stupid field goal at the end of the week 2, right? Aren't all their wins by double digits? I think all but that one.
That's a good question.
I think 10 of their 11 wins are by double digits. The only one that wasn't is because McVay kicked a weird field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah, it looks about right.
Yeah, they're better than everybody, and it's not close.
Quite a bit better, yeah.
Yeah. So, I like their chances, and I'm with you except for this one caveat. And this is just sort of the way I look at it. I get it if people don't agree, but I just don't know how well you can protect people in football. I know we want to, but the whole sit guys out, save them for next week. If you have a lead, pull them. He's never done that. I mean, he's playing McCaffrey in the fourth quarter of games where they're up by 2 scores. He just doesn't look at it that way. And McCaffrey could play one play on Monday night, and that could be the play where something goes wrong. It's football. You know this better than anyone. You can't hide. Can't hide.
There's only so many guys that are up on game day, and it's not college football. You don't just have an endless arsenal of dudes just standing there. But he's had opportunities to run J.P. Mason and not run McCaffrey in games where the Niners have been up by double digits, multiple scores, and there's McCaffrey. So all I would say is Kyle and the running back coaches for the Niners, Anthony Lynn and Bobby T, you guys make the call. Don't let Christian make the call. You make the call.
Right. Christian doesn't ever want to leave the field.
Christian never wants to leave the field. Right. Yeah. Protect him. Protect said player from himself.
But what does that look like? You mean starting him or how long you keep him in?
I'm saying if you have a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, I want to see J.P. Mason.
No.
I don't want to see any more McCaffrey in that situation. So that's what and then the other thing in this game that's kind of interesting is the MVP is probably going to be decided in this game. This is a huge TV audience. Purdy's the betting favorite. Lamar, I believe, is the second choice, though Purdy's numbers are way, way better. And McCaffrey's got a shot as well. Whoever goes off in this game, I think is going to get the MVP.